Yo, memamo akwa abastron koso adiaba POG Media. Message so subscribe or like share jumedi na mafofro and so answer and can kindly click on the notification bell so send a ya. Yet any news be out of platform so I won't so one who the air call and the air by young some near fans and the donano Ambra wa ye bo area ra a ye Fiifi a ye Fiavi a ye Kwetey a ye Asway na Fiifi Kwetey edin sembi ababa tuja abra of full podium na or kasa at a chair a year Ghana for any NDC for a chita for na oche muse share Ghana reset na ebano anode na reset in the crowd ye enye pay ne CP na reset in the beto anaze ochemu ade akọ 2028 na sa ankomo we na twitwi bebre aso say 2028 or chair ye NDC for strategies and then you may be NDC for by year the abwa aye Ghana na omodiatna aye abenya no so a church and some bebre ebi krampo e make aye meanings to it on how say ebi krana on machine aye the MPP flag and also the NDC omo bedi aye ni mu no ebi chemo ebi we di meanings to it and not just enya we enko ni konkoti.
I would invite Honorable Fiifi Kwetey, our General Secretary, former MP, former Minister, to speak to us. Let's do it better. Let's do it better for our General Secretary, Honorable Fiifi Kwetey.
Yes. Thank you so much. Let me stand on all protocols that have been earlier observed and just address all of us as sons and daughters of a great country and fellow kids of the uprising that started exactly 46 years ago. What happened at the end of 2024 in that election on December 7 was exactly the same spirit that occurred in this country on June 4, 1979. It was a country that reached a moment of enough is enough. That's what happened on December 7, and that was what June 4, 1979 was about. The soul of Ghana, both in 1979 and again on December 7, 2024, said, enough is enough. Things have to change. The leader of the 1979 uprising at the time couched it in the words, let the darkness come to an end. Let the darkness come to an end. And that actually is the name he gave his first daughter, who is here with us today, Zaneto. Let the night or let the darkness or let the gloom come to an end. That is what reset is all about. An attempt was made to reset our country in 1979. Now that attempt was not an easy attempt because it happened during a military era. And in that military era, as we all understand, first and foremost, once soldiers are involved, military is involved, things tend to become much more, in fact the right word will be combustible. A lot of fire comes out. And of course, in the midst of that, mistakes get made. And I believe even the founder of that uprising, that day and all the way till he passed, he knew that it was a beautiful spirit that needed to bring a reset of our country. But in the fire of that moment, mistakes were made. Now what it means is the revolution is important, but much more important than just that quick fire is the inner one that transforms our hearts and that brings about genuine transformation. Because you cannot force a horse to the river and expect the horse to be able to just drink. Because the change doesn't just happen because fire is being blazed or people are being killed. The change happens when the people start to understand that the reset is not just a cataclysmic event. It's not just an upheaval to kill, but the genuine fire that transforms us from within. 46 years on, I say that though that great uprising was wonderful, our events over the last 46 years showed that the inner transformation had not happened. Now, part of that transformation was the establishment of political parties. So we as NDC became privileged and blessed to be a channel that will allow for that spirit of resetting Ghana to flow through us. MPP tried very hard to hold on to their very independence ideology, which largely is not an ideology that holds the whole of Ghana together. But opportunities have been given, and in all these elections, our side has won one, their side has won one. But what happened in 2024 was not a battle between the NDC and the MPP. It was the battle of Ghana, the soul of Ghana, against the MPP. And that means that reset is a different type of reset. That's why, much as I go with my comrades in the NDC in trying to make this day about the NDC. I keep saying we need to transcend partisanship when it comes to June 4, 1979. It's a day for Ghana. It's a day for all the people of Ghana. It is true that some heads happen. And naturally, when your family or your friend is hurt or your business is hurt, it's difficult to reconcile with a day such as this. But Ghana must come to terms with June 4. Because June 4 carried positive lessons, but also lessons that we can learn from in terms of how not to rush into doing certain things. Because, like the good book says, be swift to hear, be slow to speak. Is needed. So reset that we called it, maybe some in NDC thought it's just a political reset, a time to take the MPP, and now it's our time. So let's try to do just a little better than them so that the people will keep us in power. This reset is bigger than elections. A reset bigger than winning of elections. It's winning the heart and minds of the people of Ghana in order for this country to rise to where it has always been destined to go. So the two political parties must understand they are simply channels for great energy from above to transform our country. Therefore, the petty comparisons must stop. NDC is better than MPP. Yes, it's true. I believe in that. But it is, the standard is not NDC. The standard is a Ghana that is great and strong, bigger than any political parties. So we need to learn the lessons of June 4, 1979. It was a great spirit that was filled with a desire to see the transformation of our country and for darkness to come to an end. But sometimes when you focus too much on darkness, you sometimes tend to attract a bit too much turbulence and difficulty. So possibly this current research should not be one that is totally focused on darkness and ending it, but it's one that is open to the coming of the sun for this country. A sun that should rise upon this country. A new dawn that brings total difference in the way we do what we do. taking our country to a place of gold where excellence in every area becomes the way to go. Where then the competition between NDC and MPP stops from being just normal, mediocre competition and reaches a place of gold where all is about the goodness and the transformation of our country. So comrades, reset December 7, 2024 is a whole different level of reset. It's a reset that goes beyond NDC. It's a reset that goes beyond John Dramani Mahama. We are simply an instrument for something mightier, something greater that has always intended to ensure that our national anthem, which is a prayer, becomes manifest. That anthem is a mighty prayer to the God above for the transformation of this beautiful land. So anytime we're saying God bless our homeland Ghana, it's a mighty prayer we make every day, because we are looking for something bigger than the normal things that we have seen, and that even both my own party NDC and the MPP, because much
yo nyamin shaw so wa hwedwumade no ebesi ese me on ka ho afa atoso mienu na obabeti na afa atoso mienu no before see be ransom subscribe, like hwedwumade and share nema afofo enso ensan can be kindly click on the notification bell so send be ya ye the news be out to platforms so also won the air co and the air by some no beto aso no Fiifi Kwetey o kasaye e den sam do na no atudwa e fa NDC fo eye omodo omwo Ghana ene boa John Dramani Mahama e person de boa Ghana na Ghana e fa ntoma pa ifra yanko ne konkuti.
Greater things are going to be achieved for this country. This country was known as a land of gold. It's a place where God was. It's a place that is meant to be the king of all things. It's a place where golden excellence must become the new reality, where everything changes. Economic ideas, political ideas, technology, every aspect become transformational. And it's also a place where our young people need to appreciate that the paradigm must shift. Constantly playing the victim, constantly moaning and bemoaning is not the way to bring the reset. This reset calls for that spirit that says, I know of the problems, I know of the difficulties, but instead of spending all my time trying to find someone to blame, can I start becoming the change that Ghana is looking for? Can our young people start seeing themselves not as just people who mourn and complain and are angry, but as young people who are seeing themselves as, you know what, we are vehicles through which transformation can happen in every area of the country. So we start changing the problems into opportunities. The crisis is not becoming something that brings the Christ-like transformation that this country is looking for. Comrades, June 4, 1979 was a great day. I look forward to a day where MPP, NDC, and all the political parties will converge around June 4. Not because it is right to remember how people suffered and some people lost their life, no. But simply to come to terms with the fact that it was a day that at heart meant the resetting of our country. The establishment of foundations that said enough is enough. And so now is the moment, 47 years on, to be able to say that reset that we did not understand fully, this is the moment for us to prosecute the real reset. And that reset must go beyond NDC, beyond MPP, and touch the very heart of Ghana and bring to pass our national anthem, which constantly tells us that God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's do it better. Let's do it better for our General Secretary. We have some few acknowledgements.
Yes, we have some few acknowledgements. Opaling manye kolekin manye ngwa manye selo manye kolekin wange manye hobayo the second eleji piengwa manam manye wange honorable jibi lawe eleji chairman comrade the kiddes home a chairman lower manya wange alhaji smiler regional organizer for the kiddes opalenge ochami hampuyo enyone the state linguist newa lower manyanga yomno opale ma recognize wa DC is komeneme waje na ba piewahe honorable Evans John Kumeji a captain of DC lehon he was here. Let's acknowledge him. Honorable Linda Ahiankra DC for Achimansa lehon ingawa patingo wanyawa pedi hame.
Thank you very much. And all local organizing committee and then the national organizing committee, we acknowledge all of us. The last speaker is our national chairman. But before he comes, let's welcome Ismail, the gigantic. Let's put our hands together for the gigantic body.
Look the gigantic, one way or the other. I have become a victim of my dreams and obstinacy, even if I finally win. Though the prizes might prove heavy, they fell within my decision. If I'm matured, it means I am enough to accept that not everything will go my way. And so, make the best of what comes my way. And that even though I must always compete with myself to fight addictions and settle decisions, I am still a one body. In a sinful world, should I also just sin, since the sinless are considered outmoded? Whatever ascends should in time descend. A plain reality to comprehend. Whoever fails to comprehend is doomed for ascent. In the ascension, if I feel stepping on others is what will give me height, am I fit to ascend? In the ascension, if my head is full of what I'm gaining instead of what I'm giving, have I not failed on arrival? The great thing, how do I make them smile? Not how do I smile. The great thing, how do I make my people lead? Not how do I lead my people. But we agree that thankful stomach is the greatest source of happiness. And so we'll even tear others to fill ours. This is because we refuse to experience the happiness that comes from a big heart. And so we are unaware of the fact that a full stomach may lack happiness, but a happy heart knows no hunger. If my riches are as great as make me drive, then shame on me if I can dry the tears of a single soul. Reflection on June 4 is a catalyst for resetting our dear nation. The kickoff is good, but lest we should condone procrastination. Our purpose on this ground is a reminder that sacrifice is the pivot to change, and that rebuilding our dear nation invokes honesty, transparency, accountability, social justice, hard work, anti-corruption, and invites all hands on deck in building the Ghana we want. Riches, knowledge, and power are not gained by expertise, but simply gifts from God. So those given the opportunity will share with the lacking and create a balance. If I can't understand this simple rule of life, what's the purpose of living? Of the billions of people on earth, you are but just one. But the life you touch will remember you forever. It's common sense to know that the poor are not lazy. It's common sense to know that the disabled are not cursed. It's common sense to know that the sick are not ill-fated. It's common sense to know that the less privileged are not the less blessed. So in our ascension, we shouldn't think ourselves too loved and blessed, but we should rather know that we are tested with a duty to serve the rest and create a balance. For the lazy, cursed, ill-fated, and less blessed are those who are given the opportunity to serve others, but they rather make their lives worse. Optimism, the decency, the jack. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yo, aha, and a Jumadie no ABC, and the man unsubscribe here, subscribe to Jumadie no, share them out for and so and Sankabi. Kindly click on the notification bell so send a baby news be out to platforms so on. One so won't with the air call and the air, but some no, the door now home, but a jar, yet the bed day, yet the ABC. I would be a journey there, chia, or she as you from tea, and some no, yet be ABC, na yet the 4 floor I day, Abram, Macram.